Hello YouTube, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a route from Reading to London Paddington, the 1714 service. We should hopefully see a lot of AI along the route as it's rush hour. And we're going to complete the route again with usual assists off, and the only assists that we should see is notifications of speed changes along the route. Anything that you'd like to see, please leave in the comments section. We'll be happy to try and answer those for you. So we're at Reading, we'll just switch on the DSD. Switch on the AWS. Unlock our master key. Turn on our headlights to daytime. Move back our throttle to forward. Cancel the AWS and we'll move off. And we'll try and be at Twyford for 1720. The time's currently 1714. We do have a speed restriction of 30 miles an hour coming right up. Speed will soon be changing to 40 miles an hour. I'll increase it slightly to 30. We do have green lights straight away, so we can get straight on it. As usual, I'll not talk too much throughout the route. I know that there are some other YouTubers out there that will talk about politics, such as the Class 801, what's going on with the Azuma train on the East Coast Main Line. I'm not going to go on about that. I'll let you know what's going on along the route with any signals that we come across, any track changes that we come across, and the alarms that we come across. And of course keep us updated to how we are on schedule. That was the DSD alarm, which usually comes on once there's been an activity on either the brake or the throttle, and you just cancel that by pressing circle. This is the first time completing this route, so hopefully we don't make any mistakes. We've got 2 minutes. to get to the platform, which is 2.3 miles away. I usually start braking from 90 miles per hour, roughly around 0.7 miles, and usually I want to try and hit the start of the platform at around 30 miles an hour. That's the way I approach the game. Please let me know if anybody has any suggestions on improvements on my braking methods. Again, that's the DSD alarm. As long as that's hit within 3 seconds, you're free to continue your journey as normal. If you don't hit it within 3 seconds, the train will come to an emergency stop. So we're 1 mile away. I don't think we're going to hit 90 miles an hour. We don't need to worry about braking too early. There's Class 166 pulling away from Twyford towards Reading. And we'll start braking a little bit now as we're 0.6 miles away. We'll go into braking setting 1. And then to braking setting 2. And full service, as I don't think we're going to hit that 30 miles an hour before platform edge. And I think we can decrease the braking a little. So we're bang on time, 17:20. Let's get the doors open, let's get the passengers on. Bang on the marker. We don't have any AI other than the train that recently passed us anywhere close, so I think we'll get back in the cabin. Let's get ready to go. We can lock the doors. As soon as they're closed, we can begin to move off. Next stop's Maidenhead. We want to try and reach that at 17:29. It's currently 17:21. Just under 7 miles. Let's get a bit more throttle. And we've got 7 minutes to reach 6.5 miles, which shouldn't be a problem. Again, that was the DSD. I should be familiar with that sound now, so I'll not comment on that going forward. As a Class 43 goes by. We're still 3.5 miles out. Currently on track to reach that 17:29 time. We've got a speed change coming up in 2.5 miles to get down to 75 miles an hour. We'll not brake for that anytime soon. Just decrease the throttle and we'll start coasting towards that 75 mile an hour change. We've got a green signal, so we can continue to coast. We are at 84 miles an hour, so I'll start braking slightly to make sure that we achieve that 75 mile an hour change. And again, I think we'll start coasting. Just under a mile until the station, time 17:26. Start braking a little bit more, just to ensure we do hit the platform mark. We've got a little time to play with. Don't think we'll be using full braking as we come in to Maidenhead. Already at the 30 mile an hour mark. So we're a few minutes ahead of schedule. Let's get out and have a look at the station. Got a bit of time to play with. Let's have a look to see if we have any AI trains in the vicinity. Doesn't look like it. Not a lot to look at. And we're being held here until 17:30 due to the early arrival. Leave the doors open for roughly around 20 seconds. Make sure that we get away on time. And close the doors. Next stop is Tatlow, and we need to be there in 3 minutes time. Only 1.8 miles away from this point. Got a current speed limit of 75 miles an hour as we leave the station. Shortly increasing to 90, we shouldn't have to worry about slowing down. About to change to 90, there we go. So we're 0.7 miles away from the station, so we'll begin braking shortly. 0.6 miles, 63 mile an hour. We'll get off the throttle. And we'll begin braking around now, 700 yards. We're on time. Hitting the platform roughly around 33 miles an hour. Don't think we need to worry too much about hitting this marker. Increase the braking to 2. Let it off to 1. Let's get off the brake altogether and make sure we hit that marker. Let's get the doors open, 10 seconds ahead of schedule. Again, let's get off. There's a stopping point. We do have some AI, so while we're waiting for the passengers, let's see if we can get a good camera shot of the upcoming train. Might be a little bit late on this one. Yeah, there you can see it there coming into the station. But we want to focus on being on time ourselves. So we'll lock our doors as another Class 166 goes by on the right. We'll make our move. Next stop, Burnham. Just over a mile. Should make it on time for 17:36, just coming up to 17:35. We'll start braking for the station, roughly 600 yards away now. Now we can see the platform, so we'll increase braking to setting 2. Small station this one, so we'll set it to full service. And then you can see another Class 166 pulling into the station on the other platform. And let's get the doors open. Let's go and have a look at the other Class 166 if it's still there. Close the door behind us. And have a seat. Let's close the doors. Next up is Slough. You usually see a lot of AI around Slough. Now we do have a speed restriction coming up of around 75 miles an hour. And they're just 2 miles away. And Slough is just 2.5 miles away. Aim to be there for 17:41. Current time, bottom right hand corner of your screen, 17:38. So I think we'll be okay for time reaching Slough. Approaching Slough now. Just get off the throttle. Didn't have to worry about the speed restriction of 75 as predicted. Step 1 of braking. Step 2 of braking. Need to make sure that we do hit that 60 miles an hour. Release the brake a little, I think. 1741. Step 2 of braking. Let's get full service on. And step 1 of braking. Let's release it. Let's get it on the marker. And let's get the doors open. Arrived on time. Let's have a look around Slough. Almost every other time I've been through Slough, you usually have some other trains come in, so we'll just check the map. As there's currently none here, surprisingly, especially around rush hour. Usually expect to see 1 or 2. One stuck at the next station up ahead, but it's almost time for us to pull off, so I'm sure we'll see that along the route. Let's get ready to close these doors. So Langley is the next station, which is 2.2 miles away. We'll see another Class 166 approaching soon. Like I said, it was currently held up at a red station when you viewed the map. We may see some other trains. There's quite a few red signals there. We don't have to worry about that though. We've got a clear route. Guys, please let me know. I know that I'm usually in cabin view on my videos. Please let me know if you'd like alternate views along the routes, and I'll be happy to comply with that. Any other requests, any other routes that you have, please let me know. Any suggestions or queries with signalling, I can put a little video together on that. There's the Class 166 that we talked about, coming in the opposite direction. I would advise to watch any videos of this game on 1080p settings on YouTube. I've seen a few of the videos myself that have a lower resolution than that. Don't really do the graphics justice. So 1080p is the one I would suggest that you watch these videos in. And we'll get off the throttle as we're 0.7 miles away from the station. Down to 0.6, start applying some brakes. quite a small platform this, so we hit the platform at roughly 20 miles an hour. And our stopping point, you can see it there marked on the left. And we'll get the doors open. I think the class 43 is about to go by. And that's why I like doing the service mode. Plenty of AI, plenty of other trains to see along the route as you go by. As you can see, our stopping point just beside this lamppost. More or less bang on target for that one. Shut our driver's door. Got a green light ahead. Just about ready to go. We'll just get the passenger shut in a moment. Next stop, Iver, only a minute away. 1.5 miles away. We'll select full throttle, try and get there on time. Shouldn't need to worry about the speed limit on the way to Iver. We've got a 90 mile an hour speed limit, which I don't expect to hit. So we'll leave braking late for this one, as it's already 17:49 and we're half a mile away from the station. So quite a tough target to hit on this station, but I do expect it will achieve time by the time we arrive at London Paddington. So we'll get off the throttle for Iver and begin braking. So as I said earlier, my target to achieve by the time we reach the platform beginning is around 30 miles an hour, which we've achieved. So we'll decrease braking. And that is pretty much perfect. There's our marker board for stopping. There's our driver's cabin. Have a quick look around the station. I don't usually really care for collectibles. Might be a station where I've already collected the map. We'll have a quick look across the bridge, see if there's anything across there. Nothing in here, but there's another Class 166 pulling in. But we've got our own schedule to keep. Close our driver's door. And close the passenger door. West Drayton's next stop, 1.5 minutes away. 1.5 miles. Another tough target to achieve. We'll try and get there within the 53 minutes. Maximum acceleration. So we're 30 seconds away from the schedule time what we should arrive, and a mile away from the station. I see a green light just further down the track. Don't need to worry too much about braking. We're not at 60 miles an hour yet, so I think I'll leave a late breaker for this one. Try and limit the time that we arrive late by. So I'll give it braking step 2. Let's check the speed that we arrive at the platform by. And there's our 30 mile an hour mark as we enter the platform. On the Class 166, I like to try and keep the braking between step 1 and step 2. As I'm sure everyone will, sometimes you do have to use full brake setting. You misjudge the platform length. But you can keep an eye on that if you wish, as we go to further stations along the route. So again, 2 to 3 means your 2 to 3 carriage length train. This is a 3 carriage length. Let's get ready to close the doors. And away we go. Next stop, Hazen Harlington. Scheduled time of arrival of 17:58, which is just under 3 minutes. 2.3 miles away. Again, I'm not too worried about time. No speed restriction to worry about, 90 miles an hour. I don't think we'll hit that speed. So we do have a single yellow aspect, so we'll quickly get the brakes on. We'll get off the braking. As we coast. Now we've got a minute and a half to do 1.6 miles to the station. We've got a green signal, so we'll quickly increase the speed. That yellow signals delayed our progress along this route. We'll have a fight on to get there for 17:58, but we'll try our best. I think we'll start coasting 0.6 miles away, 60 miles an hour. Time to turn 17:58 now. We'll try and get there between 7:58 and 17:59. We'll begin step 1 braking shortly. Around about now, just over 500 yards. We'll get into step 2. Platform begins just after this tunnel. Keep an eye on the speed. Roughly around 30 miles an hour, 33 miles an hour. And I think we'll engage full braking, or will we get away with it? No. So we had to engage full service braking there. We did get there on 17:58. But we're trying to make up time. I want to arrive at London Paddington on time. So we do have a double yellow signal up ahead. Hopefully that'll change to green by the time we leave. We're going to leave with some quick acceleration. We'll give it some full throttle. I'm not going to mess about looking in for any collectibles. Let's get back in the cabin and get ready to go. Looks like we may achieve or hit a speed restriction of around 50 miles an hour, so we want to be prompt getting away. Let's get the door shut and let's go. Good news, as you can see, the next signal has gone green. And next stop is East Broadway, which is 5.2 miles away. Scheduled time of arrival is 18:05, currently 1800. I'm quietly confident we'll get there for that time. So we want to keep an eye on our speed. We're just 0.6 miles away from that 50 mile per hour speed restriction. We are in full throttle at the moment, but we'll start reducing that down to coast. Now we are going to be changing tracks. For those that don't know, when you have a diagonal white signal, it means change of tracks coming up. And that's possibly why we've got this 50 mile per hour speed restriction. Don't want to be changing tracks too fast. As you can see, that was the reason. Speed's gonna increase to 90 miles an hour any second now. Let's increase that speed. 4.1 miles away. Just over 3 minutes to get there. I think this is a class 166 coming in the opposite direction. Looks like it may have been stuck at a red light. And we do have another speed restriction coming up at 70 miles an hour. We're not yet looking like we're going to achieve that anytime soon, but we probably will need to get off the throttle. We do have another track change coming up. No need to decrease the throttle on this one. And we've got 2 minutes to complete 3 miles in. So we're at 67 miles an hour. Track speed has just increased to 90. Another speed limit decrease coming up from 90 to 85 very soon. I'm not sure we'll need to worry about that though. But we will need to worry about the 80 miles an hour one. We'll just keep an eye on our speed. Green signal. .7 miles away from our stopping station. We'll just get off the throttle a little as we approach that 80 miles an hour. We'll begin to brake very soon for Ealing Broadway. Looks like we should be there between 1805 and 1806. We'll begin step 1 of braking. And we'll begin step 2. Again, we want to try and approach the platform around 30 miles an hour, which we have done successfully, so we'll decrease braking and coast in. There's our 2 to 3 carriage marker board. Let's get the doors open and see how we've done. As you can see, more or less, we haven't exceeded it. We've got the full train on the platform. Let's close our cabin door. And let's have a quick look at the map for any AI. And we're not too far away from London Paddington. Let's get ready to close the doors. And next stop is London Paddington. 7 minutes away, 5.3 miles. Fully expect to arrive there on time. On the way into London Paddington, you'll notice quite a few speed changes. We'll keep on top of that. At this time, like I say, we've never done this service before, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of AI into what is one of London's main stations at what is rush hour. As we come towards an end of this video, please let me know how you think I've done. Have I spoke too much? Have I spoke too little? Is it just about right? Would you like more camera angles on any future videos? Just let me know. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button if what you see you like. You may also want to leave a few comments on how I compare to other YouTubers. You mainly get a few YouTubers talking about PC versions of the game. This is console. I'm not here to compare, just here to play the game and enjoy it. We do have a speed decrease. The limit will be 50 miles an hour and 1 mile, so we'll keep an eye on that. AWS alarm goes off, so we'll just decrease the throttle in case we've got a yellow signal up ahead. It's green. We'll begin braking for the 50 miles an hour, step 1 braking. And we'll keep an eye on that as we get a little bit closer. May need to increase it to step 2. I think we'll do that now. And I think we can coast for the rest of the way. As you can see, in another mile the speed limit decreases to 40. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think we can increase the speed a little bit now. Three minutes to scheduled time for Paddington. Or we'll begin step 1 braking to achieve that 40-mile-an-hour limit. Just release the brakes and we'll begin to coast. Still over 500 yards until we do need to achieve that 40-mile-an-hour limit, so we'll keep an eye on that. That's the 40-mile-an-hour achieved. You can see a green signal ahead. Acknowledge the next speed limit of 25 miles an hour, 0.6 miles ahead, so we'll begin braking for that. Got a minute and a half to travel that last 0.7 of a mile. We're currently in step 1 braking. Let's get off the brakes and we can cruise in.